Hi, everyone. This is Tamika Chambers with Create a Generational Love Cycle. So great to be back on this day, March 28th, 2022. There's no place like home, right? You think about the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy, how she went through this just wild, amazing travel, meeting so many people, the Tin Man, the Lion, the Scarecrow, just meeting everyone. But there was no place like home. And so I bring up that because that was the first thing that came to mind. And we were on spring break in California. My husband did the over 15-hour drive there. Kudos to him for accomplishing over 30 hours of driving. So 15 hours, we split it up in half, seven and a half, eight, roughly about half, and made it in uh, California, stayed at the Hyatt House, very nice place. I loved it because I was able to cook, make popcorn, pan popcorn. Of course, I didn't have my popcorn popper, so I did it the old fashioned way and made some pan popcorn and fried some chicken, French fries, turkey burgers, just the like. And I noticed when I got back, you guys, because I don't know how many of you ladies or even men that when you go out on vacation, when you're on break, you come back with gaining 5 pounds or more. So it never failed. Every vacation, I would gain 5 pounds. And I noticed that this vacation, I did not gain 5 pounds. I had wondered what my weight would be. And to my surprise, it was well under 5 pounds. I may have gained maybe one or two, or actually stayed at where I was, because when I last took my weight, I was around about the same. So my husband decided to take our kids to California to reward them for their progress. Both our children made the principal's honor roll, the regular honor roll, and both of them achieved student of the month in the last 2 months. So it was great time, just great time, you guys. So I don't know if you've been on your spring break or if you're planning on going on spring break, but if you're looking for a place where you can actually get the best of both worlds, go out to eat occasionally and also cook where you live, have a home away from home, you may want to check out the Hyatt house. The Hyatt. I encourage you guys to do that. So, anyway, it's not a sales promotion. It's just that when you're grateful for something, you share the good news. And so last week, I went ahead and I blogged just about one of my mother's life principle. My husband and I were talking about just life experiences, and how one of the things that she shared with us, her children, was that you can't change grown folks. Often we want people to be who we want them to be. Say it, do it, speak it, whatever. And we get frustrated because we have all these expectations about human beings. And although we are complex, emotional, physical, hormones, electrolytes, all that other stuff that intertwine and work together to make us who we are, we cannot hold people in bondage to our prescribed way of being. That free people tend to free others. And so if you feel like you're free and you want to be free and you want to enjoy your life, you want the same for others. And even though at times you may not be happy about their decision or what they say, knowing that all of us are going through a journey. We're traveling along Earth's journey, and we're in whatever state we are, we're doing the best we can. And I say that not just out of just speaking it, but actually living it. I've experienced, like I said, multiple times, different things throughout my life, including early childhood when I was introduced to pain. And of course, it's easy to get angry and resentful and bitter. But honestly, you start thinking about your life. I started thinking about my life, and I was like, I don't want to live that way. I don't want to be angry and bitter. And one of the things, like I said, my soil was so fertile for my mother's words of wisdom, for her principles, her life lessons, that I took that and created my foundation, my moral foundation off of that. That you cannot change grown people. And although I've had times that, Of course, I wanted to change people. When you really realize that people have a right to be who they are, and you are the one that set the example, there is a peace that comes. There is a peace that surpasses understanding when you allow people within reason to be who they are. When I say within reason, if somebody is misusing you, abusing you physically, there is still a choice to be there with them, or you can leave. So when I say within reason, I'm literally saying just because somebody is treating you a certain way doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to accept how he treat me. I share with you, my mother left my father after so many years of being abused by him physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, isolated, that she chose to leave. So I am going to talk about another one of my mother's life principle here today, and that is know your place and get in it. And often I'll just share when I was a child after experiencing pain, I heard of my mother's plight to be a nurse, to become a nurse, and my father was not supportive in many ways of her desire to become a nurse. And so when I heard of my mother's struggle, I took that on because I said to myself, I remember when I was maybe 10 or 11, somewhere up in there, after I experienced after I experienced something as a child, that he may have stopped you, but he will not stop me. Though those are my exact words. And my mother, she was just like, she really didn't say much at that time. She said, whatever you want to do, you do. And so I set my navigation to nursing. I had a goal because after my childhood experience with pain, my experience with pain, I was wondering what was I going to do when I got older? Was I going to be a secretary, a teacher? Those kind of went and left because after something like childhood sexual abuse, there is a sense of purpose, a sense of life and meaning that I believe the safety net, you feel like you have holes in it. You feel like you're not sure which way to go, and you feel like, oh gosh, I better get something quick, or I could be going down the wrong road. And so nursing became, for many years, a detour for me, but in actuality, it became life for me, um, helping me to build upon more of my moral foundation, learning of words of um, the young old, growing old gracefully, and resiliency, a lot of that. And so, although nursing was um, was something that really fostered hope. Childhood dreams, desires were lived out. The traveling around in different places, beautiful places, meeting my college sweetheart, who is now my husband, having two wonderful spirits that we are guardians over, a boy and a girl, which I desired at a very young age, and just being in our beautiful home here in Oregon. Just a lot of things happen via nursing. And so it was a path that really helped me to increase self-awareness, spiritual awareness, spirituality. Again, my journey has not been about religion because I saw religion. It was more about a seeker of truth. I wanted to know the truth. And I believe in all faiths there are some truths to it, that we cannot put God, our divinity, in a box. And so but one of the things that I've noticed is that, I've never been at home with nursing. Though it's been good to me, I never felt like it was me. And there were things that happened throughout my life where seeing my mother ask for a piece of paper and an ink pen or pencil. And she just, on this white piece of paper, I saw just elegance dancing across the page as she wrote my name. And I remember hearing a nurse that turned into a writer. And those were periods of time where I felt like I woke up, like I was kind of looking out a cloudy window. And there was something in me that reacted to those experiences, to my mother writing, to hearing a nurse, being a writer, becoming a writer. TV was always people say people escape through TV. TV just pulled me in, movies and learning about characters and, Highway to Heaven, Cinderella, Snow White, Disney, a lot of Disney movies, how they gave me hope that my experience, what I knew when I was young, is that abuse was not it. There had to be more to life than what I experienced. And I desired to have true love and all of that. But knowing your place is about, I believe, in our childhood state, we know what it is that we're here to do. I believe we have signal signs that so many people just come, it's almost like they come out of their mother's womb and they just start playing the piano and singing, and the voice that sounds like age old voices, and the tapping of the keys, pressing of the keys that sound like so much soul and wisdom goes into that music. And I believe sometimes we get deterred as children through our experiences, that we end up going on a different route. But I believe that all routes help bring us back to where we need to be if we allow that. Like, I believe where I am in my life is a recircling back to home. And throughout the coronavirus, I have spent a lot of time just really um, meditating and just spending time reflecting on things. And that's what meditation is. It's reflecting on it. Was no specific, a lot of times no specific poses, um, but just really sitting out in nature and really sitting in my room, my office, and just thinking about what is it that I want? Who am I? And I think when we ask ourselves those questions, we get the answers. And I know that nursing, I never said that I was a nurse in a way that it was my definition, my identity. I practiced nursing. When someone called me a nurse, I said, "Well, I'm not really a nurse. I'm not a nurse. I am a person first." And so when we if you are feeling like that you are struggling with whatever career that you're going through, that there's no place that you don't feel at home, maybe you're not at home. Maybe there is something that has been calling you for a long time. And through your experiences, including with pain, domestic violence, neglect, abuse, whatever it may be, bullying, that somehow you've deterred on a path that I hope will bring you back home, that you will take the time necessary to really ask the infinite wisdom of divinity. What am I here for? What is my purpose? How will I make my mark on this world? And I asked those questions in 2018. And before you know it, it was almost like our life got swept up in this massive wind world. And I say tornado, that, everything that I thought I was doing, health coach and yoga and going to school for yoga, got admitted to school, that all came to a standpoint when my husband accepted a job here in Oregon. And so instead of seeing as a place to reflect, I felt like my identity was just up in the air. And it was when I realized that it's up in the air for a reason. I needed the rest. And so often when we take the rest that we need, we really take the time to really think about who we are and what we are here to do. And when I asked in 2018, what am I here to do? I heard writing. And so over the years, I've written down documents, and I thought I was writing books and, writing screenplays, and I thought I was writing fiction books. I'm writing screenplays, and I thought I have these memoirs I've been dabbling on throughout the year. Every time I come up for air during our busy lifestyle in the city, and I would write something. And so coronavirus has not corona if anything, coronavirus has helped me, this pandemic has helped me to really find out who I am. And my mother said it one day. She said, coronavirus happened so people can know who they are. They can find out who they truly are. And for me, I believe that. That is so true to my heart. I believe it, and I believe that for everyone. And I believe that we are all here for a purpose. and that we have things that we enjoy so much, whether it's art, whether it's dancing, singing. And I believe those are our gifts, along with our talents, along with our experiences. We utilize those gifts to serve the world, to make the world a better place, to help others realize that their life has purpose. They are here for reasons, um, and that we don't have to slave, every day and rush, rush, rush. I've been a part of that, just rushing everywhere, rush, do this, do that. That nature is not about rushing. If we look out at nature, nature is about peace and calmness and allowing the storms to come and go and to clean up and to provide new insight and wisdom and understanding. That many of our answers are in nature, many of our answers, that everything has a divine purpose. And if we take the time to really think about and to really question why we are here, what are we here to do? Because when we talk about create a generational love cycle, we become what we were designed to be. And when we do that, we're not passing on our dreams to our children, hurting them or making them or forcing them to be something that they're not. But because we are free to be who we are, who God created us to be, we are free to allow our children to do the same, to allow our children to do the same, that they can too, that they will realize that they are here for a purpose. And that when we do that, we are really, showing them love. And that's a legacy that I want to leave for my children. I'm not forcing them to be something, to do something that I didn't get to live. If anything, yes, I want to give them what I didn't have and then some, but I also too want them to be who they are. And that's just growth. That's just, where I continue to grow, to pray about and to ponder what can I do to help our children? What am I doing right now? And I think it's just staying conscious and beyond conscious of our role as parents, and to make sure that we are allowing our children that space to get to know themselves, to search for their reason, whether we call it God or infinite intelligence, or whatever name we give this divinity, this power that's in the earth that continues to let, the planets rotate around the sun, and just oceans, dividing oceans and land, whatever we give this power, that we are from this power, whatever you name it, and everything has a purpose. So I hope that this has been helpful to you, as well as it has been for me, and really thinking about, using time to really understand ourselves and really understand what are we here for. And if there is turmoil in our life, to take the time, it doesn't have to be hours, but it could just be minutes, to really sit down and ask the question, what am I here for? How will I make my mark on the world? Why did you create me? All right, you guys, Tamika Chambers with Create a Generational Love Cycle. I hope that you will make this lifetime great. Still make it great, because you can. No matter what you have been through, I feel that way. And I'm not here to minimize anything that you've been through. What I'm here is to maximize your strength, is to maximize your power, to maximize your resiliency, to move forward with your life, to become your highest self, to become your divine purpose, and to leave a legacy that is worth fighting for.